Sensei Beats.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Just Some Weebs. In this episode, we talk about A Perfect Blue and school days. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive right into this. You want to talk about school days or A Perfect Blue?
Let's hit school days real quick.
Let's hit up school days first.
Let's talk about that first.
Oh man, this anime pisses me off. And I don't know if it's just me, man, but it's just like the main characters ruined the whole. He literally ruined the whole show for me, man. It's like it had so
He's
much
a classic Chad.
Yeah, he is the Chad of Chad.
He's the epitome of Chad.
Like I've never met anybody that could be such a dick,
right?
As much as him, and it's like he just does it so nonchalantly.
It's like he doesn't even know. He's like, what did I do something wrong?
He's so like unaware of it, but you know deep down inside he is.
Right.
Well, I almost forgot the girl that did this pregnant scare. She wasn't really pregnant, but
right.
I mean, this anime is years old, so spoilers. If anybody gets a spoiler, I'm sorry, but you know,
yeah,
it's on YouTube.
I spoiled something like right before when I was looking it up. I like typed in school days, and the first thing that came up was like school days death scene, and it had like a picture of a guy, and I was like, well, now I know that happens.
He kind of, I mean, I don't know if I'll give him credit for this, but he sure somehow I wouldn't say manipulated, but like found his way to create his own dedicated army of simps.
Right.
Like in a very toxic, bad, like horrible way, but like he did it, and like his friends or any of the other guys in there, they were just like, they couldn't do anything compared to him. Like
right.
They just wanted him.
Right, like he started the snowball, and then it just kept rolling, and the reputation preceded him. You know, I thought it really hit home when like the three girls that were friends were like, oh, you know, we might as well try it. They just all go over at the same time. Love that. But honestly, like the first couple of episodes, like I was starting to like him at first, because I was like, when it was just him like trying to date I always say her name, it's like Katsura, whatever her name is, and like Sakai, I kind of wanted him to be with her at the beginning, and I was like, oh, I can, you know, I understand he's stuck in this hard place, but then he just like goes off with every other girl that just talks to him. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and he just,
come on, man.
Oh my gosh, he just leads on so many different girls at once,
right.
and has no repercussion for his actions. He just does not give a shit.
Well,
right.
he did have a repercussion.
Well, he does, yeah, but
not a lot anymore.
But for himself, though, like he doesn't like actually
right.
see the consequences in his own actions, or really cares.
Right.
But am I the only one that felt really, really bad for the one that killed him? Because, you know, she basically, they were together in the beginning, right? But he kept flirting with other girls. You know, he put her in such a a bad psychological state.
Right.
She ended up killing him because she loved him, you know.
Right.
And I feel like he kind of led her to that place, even though she was in a way obsessed with him to the point where she would kill him.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it was like when she did the like pregnancy scare too, it was like they finally were like, were they living together at the end, or like I kind of was confused at that point when she was like cooking the dinner, and you know the other girl comes over and they have that big like argument.
He flipped so many times. I cannot remember.
I know, that's what I get so confused, because like they're supposed to be in like high school, but like I haven't seen a parent at all in the whole show, and it looked like they all are just living in apartments and stuff.
Yeah, they do that with a lot of anime. A lot of anime, somehow the kid just lives by himself.
Yeah, it's like, is this college? Is this high school? Like,
where are the parents?
Right.
There's a lot of cartoons that do that too, where there's just no parents available. Like even a bunch of Cartoon Network shows where there's kids and they just do all this shit, and there's just no parents anywhere to be seen.
Right. Yeah, they're like always on like the phone with them, but they're never home.
That's true.
It's like, oh yeah, we'll go out on the yacht. The yacht's in the shop. Let's go out on it together. Oh God.
True. But what were your guys' like opinion of the anime as a whole?
Okay.
I liked it better than Clannad, in my opinion. I did. Like, I don't know. I felt myself
Well,
more
you haven't watched
engaged.
After Story, so I can't blame
I
you.
didn't. That's true. I didn't watch
Yeah,
After Story, but I don't know. And I split the first season up into 2 parts basically. So it's kind of wasn't really like binged like this one. I watched them all in a row. So I think that does play a big part into anime for me. It's like when I watch stuff consecutively, it really allows me to emotionally get connected to it more. But I'd say for this show, it just like I know the main character and everything's an asshole and the plot is kind of fucked up, but like if I found myself engaged and like, you know, excited the whole time, like what the fuck?
yeah.
What's the next thing he's gonna do? Like he can't make this worse for himself. And then he does.
What about you, Eric?
I would say, in a way, I found it more entertaining than Clannad. I think Clannad was a little better done in other ways, but
Right.
like entertainment value, I would say that School Days was more engaging for me. Now, I need to watch the other part of Clannad to get a full opinion on that, but
Mm-hmm.
this was something after the first few episodes, I found myself more engaged into what's going to happen next and what happened in the first part of Clannad. So if I had to like compare the two, I would rank School Days just a little bit higher than Clannad
Mhm.
in that value, but I still need to watch the rest of Clannad
Right.
to get an opinion for
That's the
that.
rating for right now until After
I would give School Days maybe like a 7.5.
Wow, that's high.
I'd probably give it, yeah, I think I'll give it like a 7.
Have you guys
Like
seen the
somewhere in the
ratings on Mal?
I have not, no.
It's like a 4.
Really?
They're all like 6s and 4s. Yeah, like there's not too many like C. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd probably give it like a 7 in all
Right.
honesty.
It's
But
hard for me to rate, like, I guess, what would that be, a harem or what? Like, I don't even know what genre that would be because it's not
I,
like my typical genre that I watch. So I don't really have a lot to compare it to.
It's a harem, but in this case, the man bangs all the
Right.
female.
So, like, what is it just considered like a romance then? Or
Having
I,
this,
I don't even know what to classify it as.
I don't either.
Right.
School Days is a genre in
Its
itself.
own.
It
Yeah,
really
It's
is.
a genre called Chad.
just
Chad
Chad.
genre.
Exactly.
It's there has to be like a certain category of Chad where there's just a Chad where you're just some asshole player, and then there's just Chad shows where they're just like all roided out and just like able to like beat the shit out of everyone.
Right. Like Goku, yeah.
Like it's like the main character is he's such a punk. Like
Right.
he doesn't get into fights, right?
Mm.
But it's like he's such a narcissist. He's so full of himself.
Yeah.
It makes me wanna uppercut him every
What's
time I see him.
what's kind of relatable is usually those are the kind of guys that get these sort of harems around them. They're usually not good guys, especially when they're this age.
Yeah.
True.
And I just found it so weird because he acted like he was so innocent the whole time too.
He really did.
Like every girl that would come up and talk to him be like, "Oh, hey, like, yeah, let's go do that." Or like he just acted like he didn't just go like bang some other girl in like the side room. He just like, "Oh, hey, I'm talking to you now."
He should have established himself to be poly or something so he could actually get away with having like multiple partners without leading anyone on. But
Yeah.
Was
I don't-
Polly a thing during? No, I don't think Polly was
I
really.
mean, it is an older anime. So I think it came out
How
in like
old is it?
2000. I think it
Like
came out like
2007.
10, 7, yeah, something like that.
yeah, well, poly's been a thing for a while. It just didn't get as much mainstream attention.
Not mainstream, yeah.
You know, like it has today.
Right. I feel like in like the anime culture too, like in Japan, they don't really, talk about like stuff like that either. I feel like it's kind of like taboo for them, at least in a lot of genres. I feel like they
You
kind of
know-
like stay like straight by the book.
You know what's funny about Japan in anime? The shonen anime aren't the top anime in Japan.
In Japan, yeah.
It's
Weird.
it's like the slice of life and
Mm,
like that.
Yeah.
That's more popular than
that's why there's so many high school anime.
yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Which when people say oh, I mean, that's what I'm like. Well, I get Naruto and things that like be like the biggest worldwide anime, but it's just like when you go to Japan, people can be you still watch that.
Right.
You
Well,
watch
it's
Dragon
also
Ball Z?
there, like the stuff's done so much like earlier than it is here. Like I think Hunter x Hunter finished in 2014 in
Mhm.
Japan, and then like the dubs and the U.S. I think finished like the end of 2019 or something like that. So, there's so
Yeah.
much difference in like airtime where it's like we're finally getting episodes and they've been done it and like on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it for what it's worth.
Yeah.
the
I thought
ending,
it was pretty good.
the ending was the highest part that I loved the most.
Yeah. I didn't expect the ending. I thought she was going to kill herself. I thought that she was like so depressed that she was just going to off herself. But then she took all the like depression and anger and like projected it outwards onto him, which I thought was kind of took me for a loop there. I didn't expect it.
It was a shock. I wasn't expecting that to happen, but I was so glad it did.
Yeah,
What's the most
I was
creepy
happy the way it went.
Yeah,
The
it
most
ended
creepy part
perfectly.
about it was the fact that she still kept his head.
Yeah, she's just laying on the boat, fucking holding the head.
And
And then we have
he
the
brought it to the school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, because I watched the censored version, so it doesn't
Yeah.
show what's in the bag. So I had a real like Seven moment from with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. I was just like, "What's in the bag?" And then like I realized that it actually is her head, and they do show it or his head.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. It's the censored version. It's literally just like she like stabs him, and there's just like
Mhm.
it goes black, and there's just like black spraying everywhere. And I'm like, I guess this is supposed to be blood.
You should watch the last episode uncensored. You should purposely
Right.
look at the last episode uncensored then.
Yeah, I probably should.
It
So,
was awesome.
They
but
did the same thing with is it Terraformers or
I
whatever
know
it's
what you're
called.
telling you.
I watched that on like Crunchyroll and it was censored and like literally like the third episode is so like brutal that every turn is just black. It's like black boxes everywhere. It's like decapitated people and stuff. I'm like, I don't get what's happening. It's literally just I'm watching a black screen basically.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
So, moving on from school days, right? You guys want to start talking about Perfect Blue?
Pretty
Or?
blue.
Perfect Blue.
All right. Well, me personally, I loved it until the ending because the ending was kind of like all over the place in my opinion. Like there was so much happening, and I'm like, all right. Like I look away for a second, and then something else happened. And look what the hell just happened.
Right.
It
It
had
was kind of trippy.
it had kind of like a Quentin Tarantino type ending.
Mm,
That's kind of how I felt the ending was. Like some Quentin Tarantino movies, they have
like some
endings
big
like that.
reveal.
Yeah, where they're
Yeah.
like they just do some shit you're not expecting, and you either love it or you hate it.
Hmm. I loved it. I think I'd give
great.
it like a 9 out
Yeah,
of 10.
it's a classic. It inspired so many other shows and animes. It's a huge impact on anime culture. Like a lot of animes take influence from A Perfect Blue.
Right. I
I
thought it was
believe
really cool too because it came out in what, like the 90s, was it? 98 maybe?
97.
97. So yeah, I thought it was really cool how like the internet wasn't like the huge thing it is nowadays, but like you saw like they were like diving into like how, the internet can exploit so many people and just like creating like, catfishes in a way.
Oh
That's
yeah,
pretty cool. I'm like, this show also like School Days kind of threw me for a loop at the end. Like I thought it was going to be that guy that was like stalking her the whole time. And then it ended up like being a complete curveball. I didn't expect
yeah.
it to be, I don't know. I guess spoiler alert. I didn't expect it to be, is it Rumi-chan or whatever they call her?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like I thought the whole time, I thought she was just like in like kind of a delirious state of like almost like a schizophrenic state where she was like seeing herself as what she wanted to be, but it actually wasn't even her. It was like, her mentor that was like obsessed with her, trying to be that persona.
Did you watch there's a YouTube video kind of explaining more of the plot after you watched it. There's this guy, he did a really good breakdown of it. I forgot
Really?
his name. Something Wolf. I don't know, he's another anime
Okay.
wolf, whatever, but like he did a really good breakdown review of it.
I haven't seen it, but I definitely would be interested to watch it after.
Yeah, it's really good. It makes you appreciate the movie a lot more because I had to kind of like think of it after I was done watching the movie because just so much stuff happened and there's so many.
It was a lot.
I feel like for me to completely understand or like completely grasp what happens in Perfect Blue, I need to watch it like another.
It's definitely something that I feel like you're going to pick up a lot of things like the second, third time even watching it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
has a lot of like depth to it.
Yeah, it also
Go
it also
there.
it also, if you for Japanese culture, like it also helps to really understand Japanese culture. Because I had a friend, or I met someone on one of my comment sections on my video, added me on Discord, like who lived in Japan for a while, was like talking to me about Japanese culture, about everything else surrounding it, and he was telling me about how in like Japanese culture, I don't know if that's too much to do with Perfect Blue, but like guys who it's actually romanticized, guys who are really, really almost like to the point where you think they might be obsessed with a female, to where they'll dedicate all this time to them and like spend all this time like emotionally draining themselves. And then finally, after years of trying, get this female that's actually kind of romanticized in their culture. So when he
Really?
goes, yeah, that's like, I see that a lot in animes, and like that's actually considered to be romantic in a lot of ways. But in Western, that's considered to be creepy or simping
Right.
in those terms. And like this guy was like really going into detail about it, and like because when we were talking about Agretsuko season 3, he's like a lot of why people like didn't understand as much, because the third season was a lot more towards Japanese culture and to people to not look at it through a Western eyes, or some of the characters' actions, or why they were okay with things in a Western audience eyes. Like you had to look at it more through their culture.
Right. So
And
in that sense, would it be like kind of like in a Gretzko, for instance, like that person maybe did actually like a Gretzko, but he couldn't really handle that kind of obsession he was trying to do, and it ended up turning into like, if I can't have her, nobody can type of thing.
yeah, kind of.
Hmm.
Well, that one, the thing is with the idol bands is like there's a huge culture in Japan where like the fans are just obsessed with these idol groups. And
Right.
there was one where like this girl ended up dating another dude or doing something and got caught, and like made her shave her head as punishment, because the
Really.
fans were just that. Yeah, it's really bad there.
Jesus.
Like, and they it's not just for the obsession, because there's people that take it too far even by their standards, and they portray that as being bad, like really
Right.
bad, because they end up killing them or doing some crazy shit like that. But like
Damn.
the medium obsession of people just being kind of creepy about it, and are a little bit obsessed with it, that's like totally fine there,
Hmm.
and it's actually accepted and it's not viewed as being weird. But then
Yeah.
there's just that guy that takes it one step further.
Yeah, that fine line when you break the ice and you go through into the deep side.
Yeah.
God, it's like it kind of said I could have sworn it would have been like the crazy looking guy, because like every second he was seen everywhere, like
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
on the set, like, when she gets out of a cab, he's like standing there watching her walk, like I feel like
Right.
even
That's
though it wasn't him in the end, I feel like he
right.
still had some kind of significance to like the stalking, or the
Right. That's
knowing
where I
everything.
got kind of confused because like at the end where she realizes that like the image that she's seen of herself is actually Rumi-chan, that girl.
Mhm.
I was thinking like, did she actually see the like kind of weird stalker guy, or was that also like kind of a illusion of her like
Illusion.
insanity? Like that's why I was confused because then was it the like the Rumichan girl was kind of controlling that guy and kind of egging him on to do it. That's what I got. My understanding of it was because didn't she say that like he failed or something, or like she set him up to do it? I don't know. I definitely gotta rewatch it
Yeah,
because
say I feel like I missed so much minor details that
right,
piece together the whole plot.
Yeah. Well, one of the whole things about Perfect Blue was about losing yourself and losing
right,
a sense of self identity, and that was actually one of the themes in Agretsuko season 3, was the losing yourself thing too as well, and just
right,
stuck into being something that you have to live by everyone else's expectations, or be that, and you're viewed as being, because if you one of the things in Perfect Blue portrayed was how she was labeled as being beautiful, and everyone else was kind of just like average or like not really attractive compared to her, and
mm-hmm.
she was
Mhm.
sort of like put on a pedestal from that, because that's
Right,
something else that's like looked in their culture as if you're like slightly famous or you're beautiful, you're looked up very highly upon. And
mm,
it's kind of like comparing that to or not comparing it, but like showing to everyone else that she's still a person, she's still like the average human, she just might be pretty or have some type of talent, but at the end of the day she's still human. And that's what it was
right.
trying to like recognize, is that she's not like as special as she thought she had to be, or be the
Right.
thing that she's not.
Yeah. Now that you say the Tarantino thing, now that I think about it, it really is like that. Because, like if you think about if she didn't actually see an illusion, it was that stalker guy, then it's like all these things happening where like he attacks her and then like she kills him and then, or he dies, however. And then, she realizes Rumi-chan's also the one that's actually been killing all these people. It's like all these big reveals happening at the same time, just a big explosion.
Can we talk about how like intense that rape scene was?
Oh, dude,
Oh
it
yeah,
kept
that.
going. I thought it was gonna be like this quick thing and then like cut away or fade away, but then it was like, nope, cut, take two. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Like, I personally thought the guy was gonna do something. I was like, because since the beginning, with all the threats and stuff like that, like I've been on edge wondering what's gonna happen next, and I thought that was gonna be a scene where something
Right.
does happen, but they kind of like teased me, like and then like even when he grabs her boob, I'm like, something about to happen, nothing happened.
Right.
Like damn, kind of like just like
Suspenseful, yeah.
yeah.
Gets you on the edge of your seat.
That really did.
Um, so you were comparing it to a Gretzko.
Oh yeah, there's more comparisons to it than I thought, because at first I was kind of like, okay, they kind of did of course they took inspiration with the whole idol group and their outfits and the themes of it, and also the horse dude was based off of the creepy stalker guy, and they did a
Right.
little cameo of him. But like, I think where it really so much of A Perfect Blue took influence, or where Gretzko took so much influence from A Perfect Blue, was the whole idea of losing yourself and being this thing, and then having to live and understand everyone else's social expectations of yourself, and also just with the psycho killer guy and having to deal with that as well. Like, they definitely took the influence, a lot of that, from Perfect Blue. But I think the overall tone of most of the season was a lot like A Perfect Blue. Maybe not as complicated, but it definitely, the whole overall tone and theme of it was definitely like A Perfect Blue. And that's where I think a lot of people needed to really either watch A Perfect Blue or understand Japanese culture, because this season had so many people be like not understanding it or being mad at it or being mad at characters, when if they want to be mad at anything, they should be mad at Japanese culture and not like one particular character, because a lot of this is seen to be normal or accepted in their culture. And this season was way more, because The Perfect Blue is very more, you have to look at that a lot through Japanese culture, because that's not something so relatable to American culture.
Right.
And the new season of Gretzky, I feel like, was more like the other seasons were more relatable to American culture, but this season in particular was very, very related to Japanese culture. And a lot of people who think that it's like creepy, like what Hyde is, which some parts of it are considered to be a little weird, and he does get shit on for it. But like, this thing about him holding out for her for so long and doing that, that's actually not like an uncommon thing in their culture, and it's not viewed as being as creepy. And that's why you saw characters like Tadano and Gory were kind of like cheering it on and doing that in their culture. That's actually romanticized. Like, they actually respect that and they want to encourage that. And also, if you watch it subbed, Retsuko never necessarily says that she'll never get with Hyde. She gives him more of a like, you have to prove yourself to me. And in Western eyes, that would be considered leading on, but in their eyes, it's actually something you have to work more towards and do that. And that's why it's like, it's not in their eyes.
Oh,
He froze.
I think we lost you, Eric.
Oh man,
you can hear us or not. He was at such a peak of the
I know, right?
explanation too.
Creepy and obsessive, but
there he goes.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, did it like cut out for a bit?
Yeah, you're frozen for like 10, 20 seconds.
Oh shit! What was I talking about?
You were like right at the peak of it.
Was I talking about? Did you get the part where I was talking about Death Note?
No.
We got right up to the part basically where you're talking about how Gretzko was like saying that Haida had to prove himself,
like
basically.
Western.
Yeah, he had to prove. If you watch the sub, like in the dubbed, it sounds straight up like she's just like, "Nah, I'm never gonna get with you." But in the sub, she phrases it in a way, and it comes off as in like, "Yeah, well, you have to prove yourself or do that." And it would come off as in she's keeping him on the side or leading him on, but in the Japanese eyes, it's actually not. It's not viewed that way, and it also it's not like viewed as he's obsessive or simping. It's more as in like he's earning it and really cares about her and has to like go through all these lengths and suffer and then persevere through it. And one of the examples I was given is in Death Note, when the Shishigami saves Misa, that could be seen as being kind of obsessive and a little bit creepy. But even in Death Note, if you look at it, it's kind of romanticized. Like it's not viewed as just being weird, or you just like are a complete simp and you killed yourself to save this girl you're never going to ever see or be with or do anything like that. Like they look at those type of love obsessions as being normal.
Right.
But through Western eyes, that's considered being creepy, obsessive, simping. But like after having this talk with this friend I met who lived in Japan, he really opened my eyes up to their culture and how that's not viewed the way that we view it.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. It's a good way to think of it.
Yeah.
It's definitely like not. I feel like even like in the dub version, like it's just there's not even a way to explain it really because it's so foreign to like American culture.
Yeah, so they have to kind of like change the context to where it makes more sense for Americans. That's why I watch it both dubbed and subbed, because I personally just think the voice acting is really good in the dubbed and it's very fitting and it's entertaining. But the subbed is where you have to kind of really pick up the true context of it and what's actually going on in the story, because they do sugarcoat a lot in the dub.
And I feel like that's with a lot of dubs. I feel like subbed is a lot more closely translated to the raw Japanese language compared to English dub, where they have to alter different words because those words don't fit in the, you know. I feel like and it kind of going back to Perfect Blue, I feel like if I watch Perfect Blue in English, I'm not even sure if it has English dubs because I watched in sub. I feel like I wouldn't have gotten the same effect, you know, watching it.
Yeah, I watched it sub too.
Yeah, I watched it subbed and dubbed actually. So.
Really?
Right. Yeah, because I think you said dubbed. Steve Bloom does.
Yeah, Steve Bloom's in it. Yeah. And I watched both, but I think the dub did a really good job. I don't know. I have like some 90s dubs are just excellent, like Cowboy Bebop, for example.
Right.
That's kind of what gave me motivation to give the dub a shot too in the sub. And the sub, there's a little bit more, like it's a little bit different with the context, but the dub stays pretty true to it. Like I have to commend them for that great 90s dub. Kind of like the Yu Yu Hakusho dub is really good too. And I actually think the Yu Yu Hakusho dub does it more justice than the sub. Like I actually think they made it better somehow. I don't know how they did it. They didn't do that with the Hunter x Hunter dub though. I hate the Hunter x Hunter dub.
For the old one or the new one?
New one.
2011.
The 2000.
Yeah, I have a special place for the Hunter x Hunter dub just because it was like my first, it's like my favorite anime and I like binged the shit out of it. So it's just like I loved the concept. But once I watched it subbed, because I got up to a certain point where there was no dubs left, I realized how fucking good subs were.
Oh
I went back and I rewatched the whole thing. So yeah, I'd say the subs better than the dub, but I love them both.
Yeah.
But as far as Yu Yu Hakusho goes, I love Yu Yu Hakusho's dub for the main characters, but the side characters I thought some of them were so bad.
Like, oh yeah, they were bad. Yeah.
What's the air at the end in the dark tournament arc? The guy that like has like the wind power and he flies around and like he has like a Scottish or like an Irish.
Oh yeah, actor. They become this weird Scottish Irish. I hated that. Yeah, but
so bad.
But just Kihei, Kurama.
Yeah, they're great.
They're just so good. It kind of overpowers all the other little side characters.
Right. And Yusuke is pretty good too.
And Yusuke's English dub is amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's similar. Like it's kind of like that with a lot of different anime. You know, they focus on the main characters dubbing than they do with everybody else. And like that's why I really don't prefer English dub, because English sub they work on all the voice actors, and dub they put a bunch of money into well, not even, they don't even pay them that much for the English dub.
Oh yeah, they get paid shit unless they're like one of the top voice actors.
But they pay as much as they want to pay the English dub.
Yeah,
like the main ones, and pay minimum to the side ones, and it just ends up the quality just shoots down
Yeah.
like that.
That's why, again, like Yu Yu Hakusho, the main guys are so good, and then the side ones are literally just like Joe Schmo off the sidewalk. Hey, you want to voice like 5 lines for this guy? Yeah. What do you guys rate Perfect Blue?
what do I would rate it a 9. I feel like if I watch it again, it would probably go higher.
Right. Oh,
I
my
would give it
battery
an
died.
like this, but
I'm just gonna switch over to my other camera at this point.
okay.
What happened? Batteries?
My battery died, and my other one's
Oh.
not that charged yet.
Instantly switched. Look at that. Crazy.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, Primus shirt. Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fucking love
Love
Primus.
me some Les Claypool.
Yeah, I saw them live like twice. Friggin'
I've
love.
seen them live 3 times, except for one time. It was a bad experience. I got a little too messed up, and I ended up in the porta potty, like, just bad for like an hour straight, and then we just had to leave.
Yeah. But
Yeah, but they're great.
oh yeah.
Great show.
I give it a 9.2.
9.2. So
Solid.
so specific. 9.
Yeah, I give it, like I said, I give it a 9 as well. But I think upon second rewatch, I think it would definitely go up closer to 9.5 range.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should maybe start doing some more anime movies, because I never really, I've not dived into too many like actual films like that, other than like the Studio Ghibli, like Princess Mononoke,
Oh yeah.
Howl's Moving Castle. Like I've seen the classics, but I haven't seen much of like kind of more like the indie style films, like I assume Perfect Blue is. So, and that's more my favorite genres. So that could be kind of cool if we find another one of those for later
definitely.
on.
I haven't
You
watched
guys.
Akira. So
Oh what?
I haven't watched Akira yet, so I can.
Oh
Definitely...
yeah. Fuck yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just watched that for the first time like last year or 2 years ago. So I'd definitely be down to rewatch it again too.
Yeah, that is wonderful. You guys seen the original Ghost in the Shell, '95?
The movie, no. Not the movie.
That's as good, if not better than Perfect Blue. Like that is the best
Really?
shell. Yeah, much better than the anime.
The thing about Ghost in the Shell is they are so private with the anime. I'm not sure about this if it's the same with the movie, but the anime you cannot find anywhere else but like on HBO, I think.
Yeah.
Really?
Luckily, you can find the original Ghost of the Shell movie on YouTube. I think that's where I found it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really, really, really good. And I think it's awesome. Most people don't know The Matrix took so much inspiration from Ghost in the Shell. Like if you
I'd be down to
watch
watch
it, you'll be
that.
like, wow, this is like The Matrix. Like they took an insane amount of inspiration from the Ghost.
Okay.
I'd be down to do that.
Now, how familiar are you guys with what's his name? I have his book here. He's a movie maker. I just dropped a coin. Makoto Shinkai. How familiar are you guys with Makoto Shinkai's the works? Nothing.
No.
Because I know I've watched a couple of his films. He's made 5 centimeters per second.
Okay.
Weathering with You, Your Name. But I feel like he is such a genius when it comes to tragic love stories. Like for example, 5 centimeters per second. It's not really a movie. It's like a 3-part film, and it's sad. It's about an unrequited love, and it's about this kid who goes on this this train ride, right, to go meet up with this old childhood friend who were in love with each other, but she moved to like a faraway town, and he's going to go see her, but he gets stuck in a blizzard on the train ride. And basically the title kind of conveys what it is. The more time that passes, the more space and the more distant they become.
Right.
And it's a sad story, man. It's slow.
You love those tear jerkers.
Yeah,
Those are the best. Have you guys watched the Wolf Child's movie? It's it's really, and it's not like what you think it is. It's a really, really tear-jerking story about this guy. It's like kind of like seems like a werewolf kind of romance thing to this girl who's like his curse, but it's probably the best kind of movie you'll see about that. Like it's very critically acclaimed. Like I'd highly recommend that one too.
You said it's called Wolf.
Yeah, I think it's Wolf Child. I watched it. I need to rewatch it again, but it's like I think it's something of the Wolf Child. I'm trying to freaking remember, but it's so good.
Karen, I don't think I've heard of that one. You guys seen Gantz, the movie?
Again?
No, still need to see Gantz.
Dude, that was really good too.
Yeah,
It's kind of it's. I would say like the plot's not like super like awesome or crazy, but like the action and stuff's in it pretty cool. It's like about these people that die and like they get like it's put into like almost like a simulation, like a game, and they have like a chance to like come back to life and like all this stuff, and they like kill all these. It's basically like monsters or like demons that are kind of like invading Japan, and they get like they go out, they like do a round and they kill them, and they come back and they use like points and shit that like buy like different weapons and stuff to use. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Gantz. I heard it has
Yeah.
like a good message on like morality.
Right. I haven't watched the series. I think there's a series as well. I've only seen the movie, like the newer movie it's on Netflix, I think.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I feel like, well, I not feel like, but what I do wish you guys watch is Weathering with You, because I'm sure you guys watch Your Name, right? Or
Watch what?
I
Your Name.
watched part of it. I need to watch all I
Okay.
need to rewatch that one because like it was kind of in the background with some friends, but I never really got to just
'Cause I
focus.
feel like Weathering with You is significantly better than Your Name. Like,
Your Name. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen either of those. I'm
Okay.
assuming they're both kind of like romance.
Yeah, but Weathering with You is it's different. It's different than normal love story.
Okay.
It's about this girl who has like she's known as the sunshine girl
Mm-hmm.
because she can control rain and make it stop raining.
Interesting.
And basically the more she does that, the more she becomes one with, the sky.
Right.
And there's this kid who's a runaway child. It's so good. I have to buy the actual book, man. Like it's good. It's legit. It's
Is
legit.
it like a book? It's not a manga?
No, it's an actual book. It's an actual book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah. So he's trying to, he's a runaway child. He ran away from his hometown. So he's not only trying to save the girl, but he's running away from police at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really good. It's really good. I recommend it, man.
Right.
I recommend all of Makoto Shinkai's works, man.
Yeah.
He's honestly my favorite. I'm kind of like a romance
Oh yeah.
guy.
I'm getting more into it.
I mean I have too. I just never really watched it before just because I've always been into like thriller and horror, so I've never really ventured into that. But like I'm enjoying what I've seen so far, for sure.
But I mean, I'm into psychological thriller, Steins Gate. I haven't finished Steins Gate yet, but
You
I
should. It's really fucking
Oh yeah,
good.
Sense's great.
And the second half of it is where it really starts hitting its stride.
I've watched the first season of Psychopaths. The second one fell short for me. I just didn't.
Same.
The first season of Psychopaths is fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know where they went wrong with the second one.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the only thing I need.
Durarara, if you guys watch Durarara.
The second part of Durarara. I was actually thinking of doing a video on the second part about Durarara, how it just did not compare to the first part.
Yeah,
Because
no, it was a letdown.
yeah, the part 2 Durarara, they just added all these extra side characters, and they were trying to introduce more and more characters, but they really didn't need to because they already had such a great cast. And like maybe one or two of them would have been fine, but they were trying to put so much emphasis on this character doing that and that character doing that it was kind of taking away from like the main interest of the plot. And
Right.
yeah, it just was not. It was a letdown compared to the first part of Durarara.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you guys seen the what was it? I just forgot it. Forgot what I was gonna say. On Netflix.
What is it about?
Castlevania.
Castlevania is sick.
Yeah. You haven't seen it?
I need to watch. I have.
It's not technically an anime, I guess, but it's fucking good.
It's so good. No, I love Castlevania. Like
Yeah.
season 3 was. Whew.
Yeah, it's sick.
When that last semester, man, when I was going on campus, and it came out, everybody was like, "Yo, did you watch Castlevania? Did you watch the new season of Castlevania?" I was like, I haven't watched Castlevania before. He's like, "What?"
Dude, you
So
gotta
good.
check that
So
out.
good.
And the creator of this wants to do a Berserk remake as well with his
Oh
like
yeah,
art style, which would be sick.
that would be so sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he wants to like redo what's been done or follow up from where the original '90s one ended, and then like make like the rest of the manga into like not the actual original art style, not the CGI shit, which would be
If
dope.
Castlevania's animation is good, gotta start from the start of the second season because I
Yeah,
cannot. I refuse to watch
rewatch
that
Griffith.
CGI bullshit
Oh
that
yeah. No,
what they
don't.
call anime.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice
CGI
work.
shit is great. I watched it just cause that was all that was, but it's not good.
No, not at all.
It's just not good.
So
I don't know how it got renewed for a second season, honestly.
Really, and it just got worse too. Like the CGI just got worse each time.
Right. I think it's just has such a like cult following, Berserk, that they just like force themselves to make it.
No, yeah, definitely.
so now that we've come to the the grit and dirty, what anime are we or animation movies are we recommending?
Movie. Let's do movie for. We have a lot of options. We listed off.
We do.
Right.
So
I'm down to do Ghost in the Shell, the movie.
Ghost
That
in the
sounds
Shell.
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ghost in the Shell. You guys, I'm for sure you guys will love that one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I can. I have a. Oh wait, no, you can't see it. Yeah, whatever. But I have a wall scroll of Standalone Complex right there
Right. That's the
on my wall.
series, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's a dope mm, at least the anime, but
Okay.
Oh yeah,
I never watched the movie, which I
yeah.
guess
You're,
cool.
hmm.
For me, I will recommend. I want to say Domestic Girlfriend, but I feel like you guys need to get touched by Makoto Shinkai's genius. So I would recommend 5 centimeters per second. That's a good start. It's like it was made during the Golden Age of anime. It's a 2007 anime, and it's genius, man. It's honestly genius. So
Is that on anywhere, you know?
it should be on. Let me see. I want to say Crunchyroll, but you guys don't have Crunchyroll, so well. A second, 5 centimeters per
I
second.
I
can
don't
use
have Crunchyroll.
I can use Crunchyroll, but I have to watch ads. But it's not too big of a deal for me. But I was gonna
Right.
say I'm actually in the next 2 days. I'm actually gonna be in Florida for the rest of the month.
Okay.
Okay,
And
so
I
maybe we'll
think
keep it light this week.
yeah, because I think I'm the week out. I should be back in Arizona probably the first or probably around
Right.
because I'm bringing my mic and I'm bringing my laptop so I can still do the podcast and everything.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah,
But
so maybe we'll just keep it to movies this week
Yeah,
since it'll be easier.
5 centimeters
Or
is the equivalent of a movie. It's like first part is 30 minutes, the second part is 15, the third part is 20, or second 20, third part is 15.
Okay, so it's not
okay.
a full season. Okay.
Or there's we could do like a short anime like Doro. We could watch
Yeah.
that's only 12 episodes. I've already seen it. So and you guys, that's a very very
I
good.
did
That's
start that one, yeah.
oh, you
I've
did.
started it. I
Yeah.
haven't got to finish it yet, though. I've been
Yeah,
so
I've seen like the first 4 or 5 episodes, I think.
trying to find it.
Another thing, this is one I don't know if we'll do it this week, but this is one of my really. You guys watch Baki the Grappler?
I haven't
No,
started
my brother
that.
loves it.
It is the most It is the most Chad show in existence.
Right.
Like there's
That's
no.
what I thought.
It's like a mix between Japanese fighting and but mixed with like Mortal Kombat with how brutal
Right.
it is.
That's funny.
And there's no plot to it. Like there's literally no plot to it. It's just a bunch of fucking chatted out motherfuckers from around the world get together and just fight. And there's no. I mean, don't try to find a plot because it's not there. But that's why it's what makes it so great is just because it gives no fucks. Like it just
It's like, I'm
puts
gonna
out the
fight
most.
you.
Yeah, like it. And there's like they try like the logic behind it. It like knows it's kind of stupid, but it's so freaking hilarious. Like
That makes it better sometimes.
yeah, no, there's the most infamous part of Baki. I don't give away spoilers, but there's the sex scene is the most infamous part of Baki.
Jesus.
That's what everyone talks about because it's just so ridiculous. But I actually started watching Baki. I watched the third season, got all the way through it, and I hope they come out more. But I actually got into it because the guy who I forgot his first name, but his daughter wrote Beastars Nights. That's how I found out. And he's like, oh, he made Baki. He's the daughter of the guy who makes Baki the Grappler. I'm like, whoa, those are two completely different things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dive into this, and I'm like, damn, this is intense. Like I see where she gets some of her inspiration for the later chapters. Like,
Right.
damn, like it's just probably one of the most
Yeah.
over the top animes I've seen. And that's
Right.
saying,
You guys can watch it on YouTube. All
On
right,
YouTube. Cool.
on YouTube.
I'd say if you guys, I recommend Gantz the movie.
okay,
Because
Is
the
it called?
series is supposed to be really, really good as well, but I don't know where to watch that.
Wait,
And
what is it called?
wasn't it on
Gantz.
Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. The
Gantz?
movie's on Netflix.
Okay, I watched the movie.
You said it's
Yeah.
called Dots?
Gantz. Gantz.
Gans. Okay.
It's like Gantz Zero, maybe, I think.
Okay.
I don't really remember exactly. I'll look it up real quick.
To have all the streaming show things. So
Yeah, it's like Gantz Zero.
Gans 0.
It is like CGI style, but it's like one of those like CGI styles where it's like almost real.
Okay, so it's good.
It's
That's
good.
kind of
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah, it's like a CG. It's like cinematic CGI, like something that you would be watching in like almost like say like a World of Warcraft cutscene or something like that. It's like really, really good.
Okay, so you recommend Gans? What about you, Eric?
For movie wise, there's Ghost in the Shell.
Okay, Ghost in the Shell. All right,
Gantz,
so Ghost
and
in the Shell,
then
Gans.
52nd millimeter,
5 centimeters per second.
5 centimeters per second. Got it.
And
Listen, millimeters.
I don't know if we're doing anime, but I'd recommend you watch the rest of Dorohedoro.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna finish that. But
Yeah, that wouldn't take that much time.
right.
I'm trying to finish it right now. So, all right, yeah. So, you think that we got enough content tonight?
We did.
Oh, look who it is.
Okay, so you want to do the closing, Eric?
Closing.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, you're
Yeah, this
blowing out.
Kitty. Yeah, this is just some Weebs podcast, and next week we're gonna watch some movies, watch Dorohedoro, talk about that. So everyone look forward to that. Bye.
Peace out from us and Connor's awesome cat.
Uh,
Peace, guys.